Hello, Stampers. Happy Friday. Happy 3-day weekend. Anybody have big plans? My hubby has to work tomorrow, so it's just a 2-day weekend for us. And we don't have any plans, so we haven't had any plans all summer. Just the way it is. Things happen. All right, I am going to flip my phone around and get it in the mount. And we will get going. There we go. Now, with any luck, I will be able to see comments today because, well, the only thing I knew to do with my iPad was to delete Facebook and reinstall. And it doesn't look like that worked. But there is one bright spot in all of this, is I'm not the only one. I was watching another demonstrator the other night, and he has the same thing. So I'm thinking that it is something to do with an update that happened, and so hopefully the next update that comes along, either to Facebook or to our iPads, will fix that problem, because somehow it took being able to see people's comments away. And so since my phone is up in the air, I'm scrolling. Hi, Carol and Rebecca, Kathy. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I'm glad you are here. I appreciate it so much. And as you can see, this is the stamp set I am going to be working with. Oh, so what I started to say is I won't be able to see your comments really unless I take a break and look up, and then I will only see a couple of them. But I will read them afterwards, so don't be afraid to leave a comment. I just won't probably be able to see it during the time that I'm on here live. So I'm going to be using this gorgeous stamp from the Leave a Little Sparkle set. I am going to use, and I'm going to use this sentiment from Stargazing, which pairs beautifully with this set. I'm going to use this stars here. And then I was going to try to not really play with things that you couldn't order yet, but we're so darn close to you being able to order from the holiday catalog, and I really wanted to use these. So this is a new embossing folder that is actually in with the Halloween things, but it's called Stylish Scroll, and you can order this starting the 4th of September, so in just a few days. So I'm using that, and then I'm also using the Ornate Frames dies, and I'm going to open this up so you can see. This is also in the holiday catalog with the Halloween stuff, but look at these dies. I mean, there's no reason that you have to limit yourself to only using them for Halloween, and I'm definitely not doing Halloween today. But they're gorgeous, gorgeous frames, you guys. They're so cool, and there's little banners. This one's like a little tag. It's got a hole in it there. These are just the coolest frame sets. So I'm using this one, oops, and this one, which fits inside there. So I will leave that open. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm bringing in just a clear block here. I'm going to do a little watercoloring. And I've got a piece of Whisper White and a water brush. And the colors I'm using are Rococo Rose, Coastal Cabana, and Highland Heather. And I'm just going to lay a little color on this block. And this one is Coastal Cabana. And I'm trying to not touch the colors together because I just don't want to mess up my ink pads. I'm kind of fussy about that. And then Highland Heather. There's one other thing I need to do before I start with the coloring. Okay, so there is the color. And that is, I am going to emboss. Remember the stars I said I was using out of that one set? And I'm going to, what did I do with my Versamark? Oh, haha, right here in front of me. Ding dong. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up with Versamark. You're not even going to be able to see what I'm doing here, but I'm just going to stamp this, and I kind of don't want to overlap. And I think that's probably going to be okay. And then I'm going to emboss it with some white embossing powder. Heat emboss. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Not sure if you can see that. That's the only thing I'm going to be heat embossing, so it will only take just a minute here to get that done. So pardon the noise while I do this real quick. Okay, I think I got it. And you can tell when it's done because it turns shiny. Not sure if you can see that, but it turns shiny. Okay, so there we go. So now I am going to just put a little bit of water on here. And I'm going to start with Highland Heather. And nothing fancy. I'm just going to put some color down. And the embossing that I just did will act as a resist. So everywhere that those stars are will stay white. Okay. And now a little Rococo Rose. Are you grumbling? Huh? Todd's wanting Lacey to play with him, so he's kind of grumbling. And what color did I say that is? Coastal Cabana. And since this is watercoloring, it will dry a little bit lighter than what it looks now. But I just thought these colors were really pretty together. I really don't like not being able to see your guys' comments. Hey, Kim. And then I'm just going to bring in a little bit more of the Highland Heather. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. And then you just want to get the color out of your brush before you put it away. And I always just like to take my fingers and bring that tip back to a point, so it will be nice the next time I use it. And I'm just going to take a baby wipe and get the color off of this block. Did you know, especially when you're using pretty colors, if you have a baby wipe you've been using to do that with and you get it all inky and then let it dry, you probably wouldn't want to do it if it was all muddied up and the colors were brown. But like this one, even if I kept using this with all these pretty colors, you can see how marbled it kind of looks already. And then let it dry and you can cut it and lay it down and use it as a background on your cards. Just something kind of fun. Okay, so while that dries, I'll probably have to hit it with the heat tool, I'm guessing. I am going to next stamp, and let's see here. Let me bring my Misty. I've already got the stamps mounted there. There's the unicorn and the greeting. I just like to stamp with the Misty so that if I need to ink it up a second time that I can. And I'm going to ink both of these up one at a time, but with black, the Tuxedo Black Memento. I love this stamp set. I just think it's the prettiest unicorn set ever. And that turned out pretty good just like that. And then this one, I kind of need to see where it's going to go there. There we go. That'll work. Well, I'm not happy with that. See how it made a blob there? I don't know if you can see, but now you can. It made a blob. You know, I made the mistake of wiping some of my stamps off with a baby wipe the other day, and I don't know if it's these ones that I'm using, but they leave fibers and fuzz all over. I never know the right kind to get. This is the ones I have, and I'll be glad when they're gone because I'm not liking how fuzzy they are. I'm just going to get another little piece here. This one might work. I want to make sure that that's cutting it pretty darn close. I think I better get a bigger piece. Okay, let's try this again. Pretty good. I just think I want a little bit there. All right, happy with that. So I prefer to wipe my stamps off with my little cloth here over baby wipes anymore, because that doesn't leave fibers. Okay, so now I am just going to add a little bit of color to this guy, not a whole lot. I'm going to color two of these flowers with, the color I'm using is Light Flirty Flamingo. And then I'm going to use the Light Highland Heather for the other two flowers. Do you guys have your lists all made out of what you want to order come September 4th out of the new catalog? Okay, it looks like I forgot to leave my yellow out here, so let me grab that. And I am just using Light Daffodil Delight for the centers of the flowers. So that's the flowers. And then I am using Light Smoky Slate for his horn. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I think so. And then I am going to use Light Pool Party to just do a little shading. And I'm not getting fancy with it. I'm just adding a little bit here and there. Boy, if you wanted to take the time to color all these different strands in this guy's mane, how beautiful would that be? I guess I'll have to do that someday. Just with all different kinds. I think it'd be fun to do a pastel colored one and then one with like brighter colors. So that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to cut him out real quick. There is not a die for this set, but it's pretty easy to cut out. So not only is this a holiday weekend, but it is the last weekend before the kids start back to school here where we live. And went out and did statements at our auto parts store this morning, and coming back into town we go past Fred Meyer's, and their parking lot was absolutely packed. I didn't glance over at Walmart when we went past theirs, but I'm sure it was probably the same way. What time is it? 2:25. My niece is having her second hip replacement surgery. It's scheduled for 3:30 her time, and she's in Alaska, so that is, let's see, 3:30 would be 4:30 our time, so I guess it's not quite time for it yet. That girl, she had the other one done just a few weeks ago, and so she had some time to recover from that, and now she's having the second one done, arthritis. So wishing her a speedy recovery. Okay, so there is that all cut out, and I'm gonna take a little Wink of Stella and sparkle up the horn and those flowers. Not sure if you can see the sparkle, but it's there. Okay, so that's done. And this is still just a little wet, so I am going to put it on my, I've shown this before, but it's just a piece of mat board that I have taped tin foil or aluminum foil on. And I use it as my embossing board because the foil helps heat from both sides. But in this case, since I have embossing on this one side, I'm going to turn it over and just hit the back of it with my heat gun. But these, if you haven't made yourself one, I would recommend it just because it's easier to hold onto your stuff while you're embossing it, and it just makes it go a little bit quicker. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside again, and bring in the stuff for the card base. So I've got just a normal A2 size card base here. So it's 8.5 by 5.5, and then you score and fold at 4.25. I'm just going to burnish that a little bit there. And then I have another piece, and this is, I'm going to tell you the color. Pool Party. I have another piece just cut slightly smaller. I believe I went 1/8 of an inch down both ways. And this I'm going to run through that embossing folder, the Stylish Scroll. Okay, I'm probably a weirdo, but I put everything back in the packages. I just do. Okay, so put this in here so it's not too crooked. There's a little line that runs along there that you can kind of gauge by. And I'm getting it a little crookedy. We don't want that. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Might help if I put the right layers in here. The right embossing sandwich. Isn't that gorgeous? Gorgeous. I'm telling you, it is gorgeous. Okay. So I have a question for those of you who are on here that are demonstrators, and even if you're not. But, so I've never had a Big Shot machine. I started with a Cuttlebug. Actually, I started with a different one when they first came out, like, and I can't even remember the name of it. It was made by the company that made the big, I think, AccuCut machines. And then they came out with like personal sizes, so way back when. So I started with that. Then I got a Cuttlebug, and then when I was with Fun Stamper's Journey, I got their machines. So I still have my Cuttlebug. I still have my FSJ machines, but I'd really like to have, I really wanted a Big Shot. And then when Stampin' Up! Decided to switch, I was glad that I didn't get a Big Shot. But it's like, sometimes I still wish I had one, because I think some of our embossing folders and things work better in that than the machines I have. And so my question to you guys who are demonstrators is, are you just going to stick with your Big Shot if that's what you have, or are you waiting kind of to see when, and who knows when that is possibly even going to be, whatever the new machine is that they will come out with? Are you going to switch to that, or are you just going to keep your Big Shot? I've been wanting to ask that, and I just haven't asked it yet, so let me know what your thoughts are. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little adhesive on this and stick it to the card front. Let's see, I don't think that looks like I've got it very even there. I want to get my border as even as possible all the way around. That looks halfway decent. Okay, so there is that. And then I've cut a square. Let me measure it for you. I think it's 4-inch square. So it's a 4-inch square of the pretty glittery paper. And because I don't like to waste this, I took one of my square dies and cut the center out so I could save that and use it for something else. So that's going to go on here, and this is going to attach to that. And I'm going to glue it because our roller adhesives don't stick well to glitter. So I'm going to glue it and set it aside so it can dry. What you doing, Toddy? Don't be getting into my paper scraps, please. He is such a stinker. He gets a hold of something and then he runs with it because it's a game. It's not a game. It's so naughty. Okay, so I've got that glued, and I'm going to, I've got 2 bigger blocks here, so I'm going to weight that down because, for one, that paper wanted to curl a little bit because I had watercolored it, and also because it's that glitter paper. Okay, so now I went ahead and used that pretty scroll die, this one, and cut that out. How gorgeous is that, you guys? Can you imagine on Christmas cards and stuff? But when you go looking for it, these dies are in the Halloween section. Even those little tiny things right there are like hearts. Is that the cutest? I love it. Okay. And then I have my leave a little sparkle wherever you go, so I'm going to cut that out with this other die. And it's going to go like that. So I have a little piece of, oh, what is this stuff called? It is Post-it tape. So it peels off. And I just want to put that there so my die doesn't move around on me. Now, when I ran this through, it's such a delicate and detailed die. When I ran it through, and we're talking glitter paper, so you know it's bumpy and a little bit thicker. I ran it forward and back, I think 5 times on my machine, just to make sure that it was going to be all cut, because it's so intricate and I didn't want any of those little spiralies to tear. Okay, and there is that. And then I'm also going to glue this. So can you see how the edges, it just fits right in that other one perfect? I think that would be such a gorgeous one for Christmas. Okay, there we go. Let's see how this piece is doing. I think it's okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on this. And it's fine to use this kind on the back side of this paper, just as the glittery side that doesn't want to hold very well. We were gifted some big zucchinis out of a friend's garden, so now I can try that yummy sounding orange zucchini bread. I think Rebecca Medert posted that. I'm not sure, but I saved the post so that I would have that recipe. And I'm thinking I've got a couple of bananas in there that could go into some bread, and I'm thinking I might throw in bananas with the orange and the zucchini. Doesn't that sound yummy? It does to me anyway. But I know there was at least 2 of the really big zucchini, so I can probably grate that up and have some to freeze to make bread with later also. I have not had homemade zucchini bread in a while, and I haven't made it for quite some time. Well, I know I put a lot of dimensionals on there, but you know how it is. Probably didn't need to put that many, but it's okay. Alrighty. Now he's going to go right in the middle here. And I'm going to put dimensionals on this. I won't get quite as carried away with them this time. Oh, you know what? I missed a step of something I wanted to do, but that's okay because I can go back and do it now. I'm going to bring the Wink of Stella back in because I wanted to put it all over this background. I will just have to go under there like that. Need to squeeze a little bit more out. There we go. Because I just wanted that sparkle to be on there. And I will hold it up at the end here so you can see all the pretty sparkle, hopefully. What are you grumbling about, Todd? Okay, there's that. Now, this is going to go right here. And this scroll design, by the way, matches with that embossed scrolling. There's that, but we're not done sparkling it up yet. Okay. Lacey, hey. Sorry. Sorry for the barking. Lacey. All right. I just love it. What are you barking at? Okay. Can you see all that glisten on this? All the sparkle? I just love the colors. I thought it turned out so cute. Here's the other one I made. Pretty much identical. Yeah. I love it. And I love how that frame matches with the embossing folder. Lacey, stop. Stop it. Okay, so again, the frames are from, if you want to write this down, and you can order these on the 4th, Ornate Frames Dies. That is those. And then the embossing folder is the Stylish Scroll. Lacey, please, come here. Leave a Little Sparkle and Stargazing. Those are all the stamps and dies I used. And I will, well, I have put the link to, or the address to my Stampin' Up site. So have your lists ready so you can order on September 4th. And I would order whatever your most favorite things are. Lacey, come here. Come here. Quit barking. Whatever your most favorite things are that you want the most, order those first, I would say. Just in case things run out. All right, you guys have a fantastic 3-day weekend and be safe. And I hope that you get some stamping time in. Shh, Lacey. Sorry about that, you guys. And I'll see you back on Tuesday. Happy stamping. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.